Hello everybody, Richard here. Welcome back to the channel and to another video. This channel is all about me doing my adventure on landscape photography at the moment, and it's also the odd videos about editing and Lightroom and workflows and things like that. And today is a video from the office, as you can see, because it is all about something that I've been wrestling with over the last few weeks in particular, and that is what to clone out to make your images look better. Not necessarily clone out, but to use the tools in Lightroom and to a lesser extent Photoshop to make your images look better. Now, another photographer with far more subscribers than me beat me to this. I've been planning this for a few weeks, but a video was released on a similar vein. I left a comment on that video to just to give my thoughts on or what I'm wrestling with. And this is going to be, I'm going to go through some images in this video now to show you what sort of things I'm talking about, and make sure, as always in these videos, I'll save the best till the end. Honestly, not to make you watch the whole video, that's for sure. But it's the last one that I'm wrestling with the most, and it's the last video that, the last image that is the contentious one, and that I'm struggling with whether it's the right thing to do. Now, feel free to leave some comments down below what you think. Please don't berate me or cuss me or say, no, give me your opinions, of course, but these are my views, these are my images, they're not being sold to anyone, I'm not trying to trick anyone. All I'm doing is tidying up images to my liking, and I'm justifying it in my head, and it's my head, and I'm justifying it as I go. So I'm going to show you the screen now. We're going to go into the computer, and I will let you have your own thoughts on each image, and you can tell me what you think, and I'll tell you why why I'm removing some images and what I'm thinking when I'm doing it. So let's have a look into the computer now. Okay, so here we are. So in the summer, we had a 3-week holiday, amazing 3-week holiday in and around Yellowstone National Park and places like that, Mount Rushmore, Colorado, places like that. And here's one of the images that I took. This down here, that's my son Max. This is Mount Rushmore, as you can see at the top here, and this is the theatre where they do the light shows and have talks in the evening and things like that. And obviously it was July and we did not get this place to ourselves, and I removed 2 people. That was the cleanest I could get it before taking the shot. So this is the original photograph, and I just wanted Max in there, so I decided to take out those 2 people. Rightly or wrongly, we're never going to get these places to ourselves. It's not something that, when you go to these places with children in the summer holidays, it's highly unlikely you're going to have the place to yourself. So I don't think, from this point of view, for me, it's a memory. I don't think there's too much wrong with that. You can tell me what you think, but just taking out a couple of people, just to make it cleaner, just to have my son in there on our own, and just to try and make the picture as nice as possible for memories. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, and I will carry on doing that. Here is another example. This is the Red Rocks Amphitheatre just outside of Denver. We can just about see the skyline of Denver in the distance here. And of course it wasn't like this when we went there. It was July, it was a nice day. There was probably hundreds of people around, but at this particular moment it felt like the emptiest I could get it. So I took a photograph and I dealt with the crowds in Lightroom. And this is what it was before, and this is what it was after. And again, it's not perfect. You can zoom in on these and you're going to find that it wasn't a brilliant job of removing the people, but it's good enough for me. It's good enough for a holiday snapshot. And again, I'm no qualms about it. I'm going to carry on doing things like that and these are people, they're temporary people. They come and go. You know, I'm sure people have cloned me out of their images in the past. So is there anything wrong with it? I don't think so. It's a snapshot. And I'm not trying to sell it as anything other than that. Here is another one at Mormon Row. Here's one of the barns with the Tetons in the background. I stood here waiting to get this photograph for probably about 15 minutes while my family were in the car waiting for me in the air conditioning. It was 80, 90 degrees. And I didn't get it with no people in it. There were these couple here. So we've got the person over here having their photo taken by the barn, and the man taking the photo here. Now, don't get me wrong, I tried to wait. I did wait. And these people, it's up to, they're on holiday as well. I'm not begrudging them for taking their photos. But here they are taking a shot here. They're still sort of, these are just snapshots that I haven't done anything with. That's why they're all a bit wonky. There's another one there. The people are still there. They're having another pose here by the barn. And then eventually they move to this setup here, which is where they took this photograph. And that's fine. But I didn't want to wait any longer because the other people were standing around. Other people were going to come in. So I did that. And again, it's people. I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all. And I'm going to carry on doing that. And you can give me your opinions down below. Now, next up is this one here. This is actually before we got to Mount Rushmore. This is on the drive up. There's a lake. We stopped at the lake. And the road just looked really nice, just sweeping off into the distance. So I thought, let's take a shot of the road. And it was only when I got home that I realised I could have made it better by removing a couple of things. And the things that I removed this time are vehicles. So if I click on the next photo here, you're going to see just up here on the bend, 2 cars, which I decided to remove. Now, again, they're temporary. I didn't want them in there. Maybe some people would think that will add to the photo, I don't know. But in my eyes, I didn't want them in there. I just wanted to see the open road, the empty road with it snaking off into the distance between the mountains, the road to nowhere. It's just the image that I like. And, maybe I didn't notice, should have waited a bit longer on the day, or I should have tried to get a gap in the traffic. But I only really noticed it when I got home, and I decided to remove them. And again, I'm not going to lose any sleep over that because it's what I think is how I want the photo. I'm going to stick it on Instagram if I haven't already. And I've got no problems with that. It's taken out a couple of cars. But now we're going to get to a couple of photos that perhaps are a little bit harder to justify. So here we have, this is just outside of Yellowstone. This was on the balcony of our hotel window early in the morning, 5 to 7. I checked the time before I started recording. It's 6:55 a.m. We've still got the moon. We've still got it above the mountains here. The sunlight coming up to our left, I think, is giving it a lovely light on these mountains. The balcony that we've got was no bigger than a single bed, so there's only so much movement I can do to try and get things out of the way of my image, and I couldn't on this occasion, so Lightroom did, and this is what I removed: a lamppost. Now, again, is that right? Is that wrong? Would you leave it in? Does it add to the picture? Does it make the picture worse? Should I have gone out of the room, left my family in there and tried to get a better shot from a different vantage point without that in? Possibly. But again, I think that taking it away adds to it. It's only a lamppost. I'm not removing a tree. I'm not removing part of a mountain. I'm not adding a tree. I'm not adding a moon or a sun or anything like that. The only thing I've done is some light editing, and I've removed that lamppost really, really quickly. Again, right or wrong, you be the judge. Let me know down below. I'd really appreciate your thoughts on this. It's not going to stop me doing what I'm doing. Please don't sound off on me. Everyone's entitled to their view and their opinion, and some may like it, some may agree with it, some may disagree with it. I would appreciate thoughts, but be nice. But this is the one that I promised at the start that I'm wrestling with. Bear Lake in the Rocky Mountain National Park. Beautiful, beautiful lake. We walked around it at 6 o'clock in the morning, I think. We got there really early. It was quiet. There was no one. Look at the reflections. I love this picture. I love the way that this bush leads up into the lake. You've got this nice V here in the rocks that's intersected with the reflection of the mountain coming down, and that takes your eyes straight up to the beautiful mountains and the sunlight coming up, sunrise coming up in the distance and the reflections. But I've taken something out, and this is the one that, if I was going to admit that any of them was wrong, this is the one that's wrong. I I noticed it on the day. I thought it added to the photo on the day. I didn't move because it would have just unbalanced this photo totally with these mountains intersecting with this gap in the rocks and everything like that. This is the one that I would probably expect to get a bit of flack for, but it's my photo. I'm not selling it. I'm not pretending it's not there. If I was to post this to social media, I would admit that I'd taken something out. And let me show you what I've taken out. What do you think? Now, it's something that in my heart I think is wrong, because it's nature, it's a tree, it's there. Does it add to it? Does it take away from the photo? I've edited both of them, and I like the one without now because I just love this center of the image here, this part of the image here. Although all the nice sky and the light and the bottom adds to it, this square image here with the mountains, the reflection going into these rocks, that's what makes that image for me. And as soon as that comes in, it ruins that composition in the middle there. And I know it's the wrong thing to do, but it's a holiday snapshot. Maybe I'll print it, maybe I'll have it as a desktop, I don't know, desktop on my computer, I don't know, but it is something that I do feel slightly wrong in doing, in removing a tree that is part of the scene. But for me, I prefer it without it. You know, it's a matter of opinion. Maybe is it a matter of opinion? Is it right? There's no right or wrong. It's what I'm doing, and I'll continue to do it. I'll think twice about before I do things like this one, but I will have no qualms about removing people, about removing cars for my photos if they're for personal use and they're for what I want to display. That is my thoughts on using the clone removal tool or the generative remove tool in Lightroom. It's a really easy tool to use. Some results are better than others. I think this one may have been done in Photoshop, I can't remember, but that is my take on using the technology that we've got at the moment to make images better or worse. You tell me. Let me know down below if you think this is right or wrong. Like I say, these are all holiday snapshots. None of them are being sold as something that they're not. And that's the way I'm approaching this from. They're my photos, they're for personal use. And I don't think that I would sell it as something like this. But, you know, it's a matter of opinion. I'm not hiding anything. I'm not going to be one of these people that throw together different skies, different foregrounds, different subjects and pretend it's a photo. Never going to do that. I did a video some time ago about the sky, a long time ago, maybe even on another channel, about the sky replacement tool in Photoshop, which is great. And if I used it, I would admit to using it. But I've never used it in any of my photos that I've published. I've messed around with it, but I've never actually sort of put a photo out on social media with a fake sky or a swapped out sky. So anyway, there's my thoughts on using these editing tools that are available to us now. Let me know down below. Again, be nice. You know, it's just my thoughts, and I'd appreciate to hear yours. Thank you for watching. Check out richardchubb.com if you want to see more about me and my work and my photos, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And I look forward to seeing you on Sunday when I am releasing a video about going out camping and taking landscape photography at a beach that's on the Dorset coast. So why don't you subscribe and see what that's all about. We'll see you then. Bye bye.